Love the has been. Has been great. I think that was the key word there in Chris Paul's comments. Melo's done.
In the NBA?
In Houston.
Oh.
He's done in Houston, and his legacy is taking a ding, as I tried to tell you last week. He's, again, loser. When you think of Melo, and I'm not calling him a loser, but people will think of him and his inability to win anything in the NBA. It will not, he's got a little Dwight Howard tends to him. People don't want him, don't think he's a part of a winning equation. One of your best friends, Chris Paul, basically is letting you go there in Houston.
You put that on Chris?
Well, if he wanted to stand up, you see Dwayne Wade all over Twitter. Everybody caping up for Melo. I didn't see no cape on Chris Paul's back.
You just
has
said it.
been great. Has been.
Yes,
has been.
Like, with us, he has been great.
Has been.
Like, look how you try to just butcher the English language.
Has been. That's what he said. He said
but he was
been.
talking about
For us.
for us.
Right.
Like, the has not in the past of another team and him being on their roster, but with us. Look, for those people who are saying it's things like you're saying, he's a loser, taking shots at Carmelo, Grandma always said, can't make sense out of nonsense. And that's nonsense. People are that lost in the NBA world that you don't respect this guy for what he has done as a collective. I think now this is going to make him a sympathetic figure to those same knuckleheads who think that Carmelo has not contributed tremendously to the game of basketball and in winning fashions. Look, I understand team record is one thing, and we're going to always throw that on Carmelo's legacy, but it's very unfortunate when you look at a guy like this, who I think right now is being scapegoated to the tune of Dwayne Wade, like you said, going out there and saying, hey, man, y'all just going to put all this, trying to make my guy Carmelo Anthony the fall guy, huh? Man, y'all need to stop. That's the easy way out instead of addressing what the real problem is. And now I go to Dahntay. Please tell us.
So we didn't say the same thing for Dwayne Wade last year with his experiment with Chicago and Cleveland, because it's not going to take a ding on his legacy because he went back to Miami and now everything is all good with Dwayne Wade right now. Him and Carmelo Anthony are both going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. Yes, small setbacks in your career do not favor well, and sometimes people tend to be in that moment and take that for granted.
Dahntay.
But Melo is one of the best scorers of all time.
Say that.
He's a great teammate because he's been on one of my teammates. And he is an example. Those two situations for both players are the example of how fit works in the NBA. Not everybody works on every team. Case in point, Melo, D-Wade. If you put Steph Curry on every team, he's not going to work on every team.
How can you keep talking about D-Wade? The man single-handedly won a title in Miami. He won two other titles.
Single-handedly?
Single-handedly.
Dwayne Wade did that?
Shaq on his back and everybody. I was there.
The most powerful force of all time. He carried Shaq?
Absolutely.
For a series, maybe, but not for a year. You're out of control. For 7 games, yes, you can carry somebody for 7 games.
You can't put Melo on the same platform as Dwayne Wade.
But you still had to prepare for Shaquille O'Neal every game for what, 25 and 15 or 30 and 15? Yeah, he still was number 1 on the scouting report. Did Dwayne Wade have great games? Yes, but he was a great number 2 to Shaq.
You can't put Wade, who has been a better player than Carmelo Anthony, was a real contender
I'm not
for
comparing
MVP.
the two.
Again,
what I'm saying
Dwayne Wade
there's an example of the wrong fit for players. And Houston was the wrong fit. OKC was the wrong fit.
Well, I know that we're down 2. Two teams have diagnosed.
But listen, we got
2 teams
got
have
28
diagnosed
others. We got
Carmelo as the
teams.
cancer, and they just cut him out.
They should have never called him a cancer. They should never called him a cancer. And I don't think they ever will.
They treated him like
front
one.
offices
They cut
and
him
coaches
out.
never take responsibility for what's going on with their team, and it's the wrong fit. I don't think D'Antoni and the organization is not going to say, you know what, we made a mistake and we didn't get it right here. They'll point out a player. He should not be the scapegoat for the Rockets' struggles right now. Nobody's shooting well. They're not playing defense. They're struggling as a team. Melo is not the bulk of that team. No, by no means. He should not be singled out right now.
No, that's messed up, Whitlock. Look, you know the defense is taking a hit from being 7th ranked last year to what are they now, 24? And then you talk about losing a defensive-minded coach and on their coaching staff. You switch out Luke Bahamute and
Trevor Ariza,
and then bring in Carmelo and say, you know what, we're going to run the same offense, same philosophy, except we're not the same team. I think that has to come back to coaching. Like Dwayne Wade said.
Only one guy's getting cut.
It's the responsibility.
The other 2 got out of town.
One
Deion
guy's
Lewis style
getting
because they didn't
cut,
pay him.
and they let him go in OKC. OKC paid him 20-some-odd million just to go away. When they pay you $20 million just to go away, there's a problem. And then when your new team only costs them $2 million, they could keep you. It only costs you $2 million. And apparently they've decided, we got to get rid of it.
And you're assessing the Houston Rockets and OKC Thunder as these championship franchises that got basketball right. They make no mistakes.
Okay,
the same team that had James Harden, and all they had to do was give him $4 million, and he would still be in OKC, but they didn't even do that.
We'll do this,
Yes,
Marcellus.
sir, yes, sir.
Let's see who raises their hand to take Carmelo next. Let's see if Golden State, all it is $2 million. Let's see if the Lakers, let's see if the Denver Nuggets.
I bet there will be somebody that takes
a contender that raises their hand to take Carmelo on.
Against all your hate that you're putting out there right now.
I'm just facting. I'm just facting. These are just facts.
Will step up to take Carmelo Anthony and find a coach with a scheme to be able to magnify his talents. I think somebody will pick up Carmelo.
You know who's going to pick him up? Three's Company, the Ball Hall, one of these big three teams. That's what Ice Cube right now is in negotiation. Got $150,000, Carmelo. Come play in the big three.
You took one of the best scorers of all time, and you tried to put him in the role of great role players like Trevor Ariza and Luc Mbah a Moute. That's unfair. He cannot do what they do. And they can't do what he does on a high level. So you can't compare those two and take the struggles because those guys are not there. No.
And Dahntay played for 4 of those teams. So
I ain't played for none of the ones you listed.
Ben Simmons is more excited than Joel Embiid. I expect Butler and Embiid to clash a bit here. I think Joel Embiid is just another version of Karl Anthony Towns, and Jimmy Butler will not be – he's not going to have it. Joel's a little immature, loves social media, not really about the basketball life in a way that I think Jimmy Butler's going to respect.
Interesting. I don't expect any clash. If you force me to say which one may have some adjustments to make, I thought it would be Ben Simmons because of the complexion of his production, as we say it. Julius Peppers, people used to always say this about him. Doesn't look like he's really trying hard. And you're like, because he's so damn skilled, it just comes easy to him. There's some of that with Ben Simmons where you're like, you're trying to check the level of investment based on how he reacts and responds on the court. But I think Jimmy Butler gets it off the court with Joel Embiid. Jimmy Butler lives a good life off the court, too. Hollywood, whatever you want to call it. He's not that guy. He's just show me dog heart on the court. And I think both guys will.
Right. I think him and Joel Embiid are more alike than you think. And they both are super competitive, and they want problems at all times. And they want to dominate the game of basketball. All Jimmy Butler wanted to get paid fairly for his services. And he wanted to win, and he wanted to play with people that wanted to win. These kids want to win. These kids want the responsibility of being in a winning organization, and they want championships, and I think they'll fit.